Testy test. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Wow, that's still...
Yeah, it's ready. Alright.
Bingo. Found it.
Apologies, we're just fixing up a few things. You know, you could have just turned on the light.
Yeah, but there's the sun glare.
Yeah.
Perfect. I don't know if we're live. Hold on. I have to bring up the... my laptop's hot. Yep, we're live. Hello!
Hi.
That must be the Twitter notification.
Yep. I'd suspect so.
Yep, and I missed a call apparently. Oh, of course.
Anyway, don't mind this. Hello, welcome to the 12th podcast.
This month's podcast, as we mentioned.
This month's
blah,
podcast.
Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? We've got some interesting things to talk about this time.
Yes.
Around, which I forgot.
Okay, we were going to talk about old-fashioned games and how they've been sneaking back into the YouTube.
Yes, I've been noticed. Okay. I've noticed recently over the past month or so, just, you know, popping onto YouTube trying to schedule up these podcasts, because we're live, trying to schedule them up to a point where, well, that we can go live. But I've also found other games, like very old games. Spyro was on the list. Crash Bandicoot was on the list. Like, all these old games. What the hell are they doing back?
Well, I'm probably going to say that it's probably a rebirth of the old genre. But basically, when times where originality was actually somewhat there, these days it's repetition of Modern Warfare / Call of Duty clones. Don't say that they're not both the same game, because I'll have to disagree with you on that one. They're both first-person shooters with barely anything else besides slight add-ons and sandboxes to muck around in. That's what games are these days. And oh my god, the sunlight is glary.
I know. Like, it's quite late, 4 o'clock, like we said.
It's 4 at the moment, so...
And we'll be here for another hour.
Yeah.
And we might be live later on. We might do another not podcast.
Not podcast, which is
this
our
is not
radio
a podcast. Thing. So that's just...
Which we only did one of it, but it was such an informational one, and if you haven't seen it, you should go and check it out.
Definitely go and check it out. Hey, no, I don't want... Close.
So anyway, I was thinking how I ended up playing a game when I was 11, and I realized that it would be such a good game to remake, or at least make a second version. Like, your past self was like turned it out to be the evil guy all along, or like the evil guy from the last one turns out to be the person who's trying to help you at the beginning, and you have to like get to the very halfway through, you find out he's the bad guy, and you have to go back.
Yeah. I'm very illuminated.
Yes, I can see that. I can see that on the screen.
Oh my lord. Honestly, where's it?
It's coming from the trees.
I tried to block it.
You know you can pull that. You know you can open that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It might remove a bit of sunlight, but besides that, it's really the only way. Plus, it doesn't really affect the light that's coming out this way, so that should help.
It's still gapping through, but it's not as much as it used to be. So,
okay. So yeah, I ended up playing this game called Monster Lab, and what it is basically it's sort of like you play the Frankenstein, and you basically create monsters, and it's like you have 3 different types of, and it's like you got a torso, you got 2 arms, you got a leg, a pair of legs, and you got a head, And what you have to do is you have to build each part individually in a minigame. Depending on what you did and how well you did it, depends on the item you'd get. And then you'd have to put them all together. And you could, and you had to make sure that you had 2 arms, torso, head, and legs. It comes down to the question of, what do you prefer, health, or do you prefer anti-conservation, or do you prefer just straight up damage, which, is always good.
Okay. Just pulling up the chat.
Yeah.
Right. Because last time we didn't have the chat open, we had to use my laptop, but my laptop is currently kind of overheating, so it's just like, you know what, we'll use the computer we're on. So we've got...
Yeah. It saves on his completely frying up, because apparently his laptop is worse than my laptop.
Yeah, it's like very, 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 very... how can we say it? I think there's something wrong with the fan. Like, the fan is got dust in it, I don't know. But,
no, it's just shitty. It's a Chinese manufacturing. They'll just use cheap.
Chinese. Okay, let me see something. I shall pin that there.
So, yeah, anyway, the idea is that the parts have their own benefits and disadvantages, and along the way, you've got the ability to make more parts with different types of subclass. They had classes of things, which was you had your mechanical, then you had your I think it was your flesh one, and you had your mystic one, and it was like a rock, paper, scissors. Like mechanical would I think it's mechanical would easily be defeated by the flesh. Flesh was easily defeated by mystic, and mystic easily defeated by mechanical. So it's, and the last boss was really hard. You had to sort of like know which parts you actually needed.
Yeah. Okay.
I played it twice. It was such a good game, I ended up playing it twice. But the bosses, oh my god, the bosses are so amazing. But sadly, you only got to kill them once, so you only got the one drop from them. And I was like, I think it was my second playthrough, I ended up sitting there with like a pumpkin from like the first boss, waiting to get to the mystic class, which is like after quite a few bosses. So yeah. So yeah, I ended up doing that, and that was tricky. I just ended up giving up and making, I think it was a robot arm with a pumpkin head or something. All I know is the boss loot drops are really good.
Oh my god. Must be really something wrong with this keyboard. Oh my god. This is slowly driving me insane.
Don't mind this, he's just doing something.
Right. Hopefully that worked.
Anyway.
Maybe.
I think we are talking about Fallout.
Don't know.
To tell the truth, this one was sort of rushed up. So we sort of like, we're trying to figure it out at the beginning. Like, we start walking down the street because we need to get some food, drinks.
Ah, that's fun.
And, well, we were sitting there, I was like, What are we going to talk about? We don't really have anything to talk about.
Which doesn't really matter.
No.
So, okay.
Okay. Okay. Here's a question. Here's a question that I will answer as well. But I'll ask you. What would you say would be the oldest game that, in your memory, that you remember playing? Which kind of game brings nostalgia back to you? Nostalgia means just allows you to reminisce in your past.
I'm not too sure. Okay. Okay, that should work. So, I'm not too sure if this will actually work. Okay, so I've logged into my account.
Yeah.
Now, if I click... Okay, I need to...
Anyway, my first game that I feel nostalgia for, but I ended up getting it, and then I ended up losing it, which is really sad. I think I've told you about it a few times. War of the Monsters. Such a hard game to acquire since no one really bought it, and it was roughly around the time when if you didn't buy it, there were no copies.
Okay.
So my nostalgia is War of the Monsters because it's if I have to explain it, it's if they did Godzilla games actually like they wanted to do Godzilla games and did it correct.
Okay. So what was that first game you were talking about?
Monster Lab.
Monster Lab. Okay. So, for
those who are wondering what I was talking about.
Okay, it's loading. Okay, there we go. So currently this is my laptop. Like you can see my laptop.
Yeah.
This is exactly what's happening on my laptop. It is a little delayed, but do forgive about it. It is a little laggy as well. So just some. Is it like a DS game?
It was a PlayStation 2 game. I think it might have been. It looks like it might have been reverted to a DS. But it was really good, even though it's a 7.9, which yes, everyone gets freaking 10s out of 10s. Whoop-de-doo. It's just the remake of the same thing. This at least somewhat tried to make a difference.
So PS2 game.
Yes, it was a PS2 game.
Okay,
This one also brings back nostalgia because I spent a lot of time. So, wait, that's one of the things that you can make.
Yeah, and let it clear up.
So, you can tell there's different parts.
Yeah. A little laggy for some reason.
I think it's frozen on that screen.
I don't know. Why? There. Right.
Okay. So this is a creature that you can create, and it's basically an almost infinite in differences in game. So this guy's got a mechanical arm. He's also got a mystical arm. He's got a mystical chest piece, but it's got a flesh, I think it is, feeding and
it's bigger here.
yeah.
That's only up there for their benefit. The
I'm trying to figure out which animal, which parts, because okay, so the chest piece is made from seaweed, but yeah, that's a really bad monster to tell the truth. See, each of the lines actually is different things. So, for example, your health is each body part being measured out in health, and the better quality secondary items you have.
That's not so laggy now.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
The better secondary items that you put onto the items actually is like a 1 to 5 star rating item. So the better stuff you get, the harder it is to do the mini
So
game.
you've got your health,
Your energy,
attack, and defense.
yes.
His defense is terrible.
Yeah. He'd probably get attacked maybe once or twice by a boss and probably would get wrecked.
Okay. So we've got some...
Search up monster lab bosses. So basically, the really interesting part of the game is the bosses themselves, because the bosses look like this, and they're gigantic.
Wait.
They tower over your creations. Like they're literally like, if you'd say your character is 3 foot, they're about 15 foot tall, and you're fighting against this guy, and I think he's like the 4th boss, this one.
Oh, jeez.
So, but he gets an attack that does a flamethrower attack that can destroy most of your parts. He's got a giant wrench attack. Now, the cool thing about this game is when you attack specific points like the arms or the heads, after doing enough damage, it actually knocks them off.
Wow.
The only way to defeat them directly is to either take out their chest or completely remove the heads, arms, and legs. So usually it's beneficial to go for the chest.
Okay. So, what else? So we've seen one boss.
That is the first one. So we'll show you the first one as well, because the first one's not half bad looking either. And basically, this guy is like a Halloween. To tell true, the area that you start off in is like a Halloween representation, or like a fisherman's yard or something. So you got your fisherman, and you got your village, and then up the top you see this house. And the thing is, I was walking through and I saw the house and I went, that's got to be something very, very bad. I walked past it, walked around it for a few times, then I went, oh well. Walked past it, finished the missions and the thing. He turns out to be the boss.
Oh. So you figured it out first, but...
I was sitting there and I was like, you are definitely a boss or something very big.
Yeah. Well, good thing to note too, the internet's not so bad. We're the only ones here, so the internet's actually quite decent.
Yeah. To tell the truth, the story of the game, yes, there's a story, is not exactly the best story. I just played it because it was actually slightly fun.
Yeah. Very hot.
Yeah.
Well, Australia, at the moment, it's summer.
Yeah.
That's like 38 degrees.
I'm a winter person myself, which is annoying.
Same me.
So, yeah. If you wonder where most of those winter people come from, it's Australia. Because you don't know heat until you come to Australia.
Which is kind of disappointing, because where I was born, summer, right, is about 45 degrees. It feels like 20 odd degrees. Comfortable.
He came from upward. He came from like Queensland. I came from like. You came from.
I come from the bottom of New South Wales.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Down from the snowy mountains. Tumbarumba.
Anyway, that's the second boss right there. So these bosses are massive. Like this is the flesh boss that you have to fight. And like you cannot fight him with machines. What are you doing?
Can I view image? Okay, that's kind of weird.
Apologizing. Apparently his laptop's suffering some weird Zoom error.
Open image. Got it. Right.
Yeah, but it's still stuck on that one.
It's alright. We got it. So it'll pop up in just a minute. Explain. There it is.
So this guy's a flesh guy, and let's just say his attacks are not exactly
Homecoming?
His attacks rely on him puking and bitch slapping you with that giant arm that he has.
Oh, I bet she does a lot of damage.
Yeah. But the fact is, this guy is like, I was sitting there, I was like, I'd finished the first boss, so I was like, alright, this is good. I did it, defeated him. And while I was walking through the second area, I was like, looking about, see this guy, I'm like, yeah, he's going to be the second boss. I can tell it.
Yeah.
But these bosses are massive. Like, compared to you, you're like, how can I explain it? It's as if you were a 6-year-old fighting another 6-year-old, and then here comes a year 12er and decides to freaking see if you like to fight him.
Mm.
And the challenge is just the same, unless you got the right gear. Then it's almost easy. It's almost a cakewalk. But the cool thing about the game is each area you can actually revisit, and each area drops certain items that you can use to manufacture stuff.
Yeah. So,
like, I think the first area you got your basic compartments for machinery. So you get seaweed, which is a primary ingredient for arms and all limbs. You got but a bucket of mud is the funniest one I thought about.
Yeah.
Because you can like make an arm out of a bucket of mud, and you get, I think it's, you can equip your character with a bucket as an arm.
Very odd, but not so surprisingly than I thought.
You can wreck higher level enemies when you use a 5-star version. Then you can call yourself the Bucket Knight.
Alright, so do we have another boss in mind?
Okay. I mean,
whatever it is.
Him. I don't remember him.
Okay. Like someone that you can't remember in the game.
Oh no, I remember everyone.
This is what we're looking at, by the way. So we're just scrolling through different images to try and find.
So that's the boss battle. So just check that out, because that shows you the comparison of your character and the boss. So this boss is massive. So this is the first boss.
Yeah.
So you are the left character, and Mr. Boss is on the right. So he's like twice as big here.
Like how big?
Like twice.
Oh,
I think
twice. Yeah.
And I think the final boss is like 3 times taller than you. So you're like...
The difference in health?
Let's just say trying to destroy one of their parts is destroying like their arms is the best way you can start off the fight and just keep trying to nail them. But if you actually go back to the thing, the image, you can see that each...
That's cool.
You can see right there that you have a skeleton per se on the character.
Okay.
On the individuals. Now.
So there.
So about there. So you got your left arm, your right arm. You got your and then you also got your energy bar. Now, each move you have to select a body part, and then you have to select an attack from that body part. And each body part can only do 2 moves. I think each which can only protect or replenish health. So, and each part that you make, depending on what primary ingredient you had, depends on what types of attacks it produces, and depending on the quality and how good you went with the minigame, depends on how much energy that you have to spend to use the attacks, and how much damage it actually produces. So it's really like it's sort of like you just sit there and you spend half an hour trying to calculate if that arm is going to be any better than that other arm. You have to run like your own ideas of what's going to be happening in combat and stuff. Like, for example, you might have an arm with really, really low damage, but doesn't take much energy. Or, which is funny because this was my first playthrough, I actually glitched one of the arms. I glitched like almost every part, so it was low damage, but the cost of energy was 0. So I could just continuously attack with that one arm.
Oh, jeez. That's actually pretty cool.
And the thing is, each attack does a certain thing. Like, for example, I believe like some attacks can do like side attacks. So there's attacks that do like you select which target you're going to attack. But there's also attacks like the horror, like hits arms, the chest, and everything, and it glows which parts are going to be hit.
That's actually pretty cool. Too bad we can't show gameplay of it, because it'll be copyright and other stuff. Unless we somehow find a way to record it.
I think I still have it over there. If we can, we'll try, but...
Okay, that was really unrelated.
That is totally unrelated. But yeah, type in final boss.
Okay, that's the final boss.
So just click in there and just put in final. So anyway, you get through this whole thing, and then the final boss pops in, and unless you got the right items, like that guy. In other words, that jerk who gives you a freaking dragon egg. Yeah, a dragon egg for the last item, which produces the most overpowered junk, but you can only get one in the game, because each boss dies immediately, and you can never get that item again.
Yeah, okay. Well, the image is just about to pop up, so just bear with it.
Which is annoying because I really wanted to fight him again. And this guy! Oh! Now I think about it and how tall he is in the game, it's ridiculous. I think you only get to about as high as his lower leg in the actual fight. He's just this gigantic, massive thing. I think you have to fight a demon with some demon mini boss before you get to fight him. So you have taken like half your health trying to get to this She's just trying to defeat the demon. And then all of a sudden this jerkbag just starts to jump in.
So, have you actually finished the game where you have to kill the final boss?
Oh yeah, I finished it twice.
Okay. What was it like to actually defeat,
Oh my god.
like, this person? Like, what the hell?
Oh my god. It's just that amazing sigh of relief of being and just remembering all the hard problems of all the bosses all coming back together and immediately taking out that fucking douchebag guy from...
How long would it... Well, did it take you? How long did it take?
Roughly 30 hours.
To kill him?
Yeah. And that's on the second try.
Oh, jeez.
When I actually knew what I was doing. All I can tell you, it's a really good game if you decide to mix and match parts. But if you decide to find what will work best and just stay with it, it'll be slightly boring.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those games where mixing and matching is really part of its fun factor. Of course, it's a PS2, so it's not exactly new, but it's such a good old game. If you haven't tried it, and you can try it, at least try it once, just to see how it's going. And before you start giving up, because all the minor enemies are constantly a variation of different body parts. Wait until you hit a boss, then you'll see how fun it can really be. Because the bosses are definitely highlights in this game. Good for good and bad reasons. But yeah. So you think it?
We've been chatting about this game like almost the entire podcast.
Yeah.
Might as well just continue talking. What was your favourite moment in the game?
Oh,
Besides the relief of killing that final boss.
okay. The thing about bosses in this game is they're a trial in the game. So there's like, you actually have to go through like a test or like just like a puzzle or something with your monster in the battlefield. And so you'll actually fight smaller mobs while you're actually getting into this place, but you also have to activate levers to stop fire. I think in the fourth area you have to like do a like switch-based puzzle, which is like you open flame gates and turn off the hoses. I think the third one was what do I think? At the beginning, it shows you how powerful a thing can be, but you cannot build the first monster that you get to play as, which is sad because I would like that giant turret gun thing that this guy's got. Apparently he's some amazing magician, but even going through all the areas you can't make anything anywhere near it, which is sad because I would have liked to. But it's always fun because it's not like you have to go and just collect stuff. Like, when you defeat something, it will just drop a random drop in the designated area. So,
that's usually how they all work.
Yeah, well, I think I found a way to actually get it so that you can get multiple drops off the guys, which is you have to actually remove their limbs, so that there is a reason to remove all their limbs.
Just like the new Attack on Titan game, like you've got to target specific limbs to get materials.
Well, this is the thing. This is the reason why I was talking about Surge. Yeah, if you remember, I was talking about Surge for quite a few podcasts. I can't remember. The Surge, the robot guy thing dressed in the...
Oh, well.
Over his head. Basically, the reason why I was so interested in this is because it sort of takes on that feeling of that game, because except it's sort of different. There's no minigame to get body parts. You just have to remove the limb. But removing of limbs in that game is sort of reminiscent of that. But that's where it only stays. There's no minigame to create your fit augments. You can't get a better tool of that exact tool. Because Monster Lab is one of those games where if you haven't played it, I'd suggest play it. And
it's PS2.
And when you're finished, well, it is.
And DS. Is it still available to buy?
No.
So unfortunately,
I was lucky to actually get it. It was also one of those rare ones, yeah.
One of them rare games that you get quick buy and never let go.
Yep.
Oh, there's a few games like that.
Yeah. But Monster Lab is one of those games where it's great. It's great on your first try, and I would say, without a doubt, you'd probably say to everyone who hasn't played it, play it at least once, because it's just so great, and the ability to customize your guys, and the thing is, you don't just have one monster. You can make multiple monsters, and you can name them. You can name a monster. Show me your genitals. so you can have like show me your genitals versus, I don't know, Bucket Night or something. Sadly, there was no online, but then again, this is PS2 we're talking about. If they made even if they made a multiplayer version of it, I think that would be great, because Yeah.
Well, there was this one game that I remember, you were in this world, round world, but you got to customize your character, and I tried to make him realistic as possible. The one thing that I fucked up on, and I'm not just saying, meh kind of thing. No, I fucked up on it. I put his kneecaps on backwards. So he doesn't walk normal. It's like he walked backwards. So I told S to go forward.
So in other words, he's a cripple.
I don't know. But I can't remember what the game was called. But, a comparison. The dude out of Star Wars, one with the long nose.
I'm learning Star Wars.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. If you know what it is, well, you know what I'm talking about. He looks like that, he walks like that, kind of thing. But the game was really weird. Like, if I wanted to go forward, I had to hold my S key instead of my W. And to go back, I held my W. And it screwed me up so many times. It's like I'd be standing still kind of thing. And then I'd go back to the game. And then I'd press W, and I'd go backwards. Oh, yeah, that's right. Press W. So it screwed around with me. But eventually I got used to it. And then I got to a point where I got so bored with him, I turned it all around, and now he walks properly. But he still walks like that person in Star Wars. Which is really weird. What else? Another game that needs to have more love is the Oddworlds. I love the Oddworlds.
Yeah.
You ever played them? You ever seen them?
No.
I'm gonna have to show you Oddworld. But it's the game is to a point where you're this creature and you got to save your friends. Well, not really friends, but they're like siblings kind of thing. They all look alike and random junk and crap.
Part of the species.
Yeah, part of the species. And you have mind control, you can summon portals, and it's kind of a, meh.
It sounds like something from Brutal Legend, and yes, most people actually gave Brutal Legend a lot of shit, but I actually played it all the way through. It wasn't a half-bad game. If you like metal. I like metal.
No, I don't. I don't like metal.
Well,
any game, right?
It's good metal. Half of the audio track is good metal. The other Well, I skipped it.
Well, I don't like metal music in the first place, and that's just my preference. I don't like metal.
Well,
But any games with metal music, I always rather mute my sound to continue playing the game, or I just completely... Oh, if the game is based around the metal music, I won't play it at all. And if I've bought the game, I'll try and get a refund. If not, I'll just waste my money. So,
wow.
Yeah, I really dislike metal music.
But
The thing is, half of my family likes metal music. Like, the half that's actually all good, like, family, is like country, dance, EDM, which is good. The other half, which is, they're like following down to my uncle on my mum's side, and then all my cousins on that side, it's to a point where it's like, yeah, metal! And then I'm just like, get the fuck out of my house. Or out of the computer room, kind of thing, out of the study, because I don't want you talking about metal, I don't want you playing metal, especially around me. I just completely dislike metal.
The only real reason I kind of like metal, okay, is the guitars and the drum sets. I don't care. You know, the vocalist can go fuck himself for all I know.
Yeah.
All I care about is a good guitar. It could be a guitar solo, or it could be a duet with guitars. As long as, like,
actually, I'm kind of like you, exactly what you said. A little metal is okay. You know, all the
but once it gets in the screamer,
that's it.
No.
Definitely no. And then I think that's where some games are perfect. Their music, like horror games, it's all the like the dun dun, or the like the
or it's silent because it has to build up
quiet, or then all of a sudden it's quiet, and then like you open a door and the crack of the door, it's like, and then the music slowly starts beating out, and that's what scares the crap out of you. And then I think that's where most games, especially horror games, which I don't really like, but I've played a few. Walden and the Werewolf.
I'm just thinking about what it would be like if there was like a metal soundtrack in like a horror game.
Oh my lord!
No. I mean like you can hear like a really nice like low pitch like. You
just said like 100 times.
Anyway, it's like the actual monster is playing a guitar, like slow, but like that's the actual clue that the monster's around.
But yeah, but some games the music's spot on. Other games it's just like, come on.
Sometimes the music is out of place. It's way out of place, or it's just not part of the immersion of the game. So yeah.
Wow, our light just disappeared.
So I'm guessing we're gonna get ready to finish this live stream.
No, we still got 15 minutes.
All right.
What to talk about for 15 minutes? Let's see. What can we baffle on about in games? Visual effects. Now, space games like
which kind of visual effects are you talking about? Are you talking about particle effects? Are you talking about?
Yeah, like particles. The things that make your computer or console render really bad, and sometimes frame drops happen. Like them kind of special effects. It's like they're okay in some parts, but not too over the top, please. We've got little potatoes to play.
Basically, what we're trying to say is a little bit of particle here and there is okay.
Like
but once it becomes filling with explosions, then we're shitting. Then our laptops are shitting ourselves.
Well, yours. My desktop handles them okay. But say, if any of you saw like the space game that Markiplier and Jacksepticeye played, and a few other channels, can't name off the top of my head, but if you saw the space game that they played, I highly doubt it that our computers would even open the application.
I haven't seen this stuff, so.
Oh, you know, have a look at it. It is. I watched Jack play an episode of it, and I watched Mark play an episode of it. And then
but they got like super sci-fi things compared to our potatoes. Like,
yeah, they put a lot of money into theirs, and like even some of it's sponsored or just given to them. Like Oh, Yogscast. They're completely sponsored by Chill Blaster or something. They do the thing. They do Chill Blaster sponsors the Yogscast or something. I think it is. I can't remember the way it all works.
Anyway, they basically get like free stuff from the thing for advertisement.
Yeah, and I think they've also bought some of them for their office PCs as well.
Which is how most YouTubers actually get money, is by advertisement and actually getting the sponsorship for advertisement. Which is good because, you know, it gets
the bills paid.
It gets the bills paid, plus the big companies giving them all that stuff there as well.
What was I going to say? With sponsorships and all that other stuff, when our new website goes live, we yes, actually, Fez is actually joining in this one this time. I'm still doing the coding. We're doing the things together this time. So it's both of our point of views because we're both face of the company.
Yeah.
So, well, not really company, YouTube thing. But we're the face of it. And
we're both the faces of GFA.
So it's always
that should be our new logo, just us like both of our faces and then GFA slightly written up above it.
Yeah. So, what was I saying?
Anyway.
Right, in our new website, there is going to be a third-party plugin installed.
You guys are going to be able to do a...
Support us directly. There'll be different plans to support us. You know, we're not saying, you know, support us, please. It's just there.
We're not saying that you have to, but every little bit helps. Because we barely get paid any. We get like 15 cents or something per video.
Yeah, with the AdSense, like it's like 15 cents. Or some crap.
It's not really anything we can live off of.
If any YouTuber turns around and says, oh, you know, we're getting by on the money that we make on YouTube, it's actually not. They only earn a couple of $100 on the AdSense, the ads on the videos. The rest comes from donations from your viewers, and as well as purchases in their store, so shirts, pillows, plushies, hats, jumpers, you know, all that random junk.
Yeah.
I was going to say junk, but it's not junk. Like all that other stuff.
The other stuff that is necessary but just has their name on it.
Yeah, kind of thing to
all
sell.
Their names.
And sponsors as well, you know, that little logo in the bottom of the corner. I wonder what that's doing there. Well, it's paid to put there.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So, you know, when they turn around and said, oh, yeah, getting by on YouTube, it's like, well, you don't.
If you're wondering why we drink from this bottle of unadvertised items, well, that's it. We don't have any advertisement.
And anyone can put together that, you know, a Pacific drink. Can't say it.
Yes. Yeah, plus I end up doing my own mixture with... which I'm not going to talk about
mixing more than one drink to create one amazing flavour.
Let's just say we're both addicted to this shit.
You know what would be even better? What are they called? Slushies. You know, icy slushies. You know, this is an icy slushie.
I would agree. But the taste changes dramatically once it's frozen. I should know. I put it in the fridge over at Charlie's drinking it.
Oh. Okay. Anyway. So yes, right at the end of this podcast, right. Hopefully the website's going to be finished in the next
few moments.
No, I'm going to say about a week to get everything up and running. We've been rebuilding the fan store. Now, it's been under development and under maintenance for the past year and a half. So,
for those who wanted to actually go and buy stuff,
yeah,
it's still being built.
Well, it's a package, right? We did on our website side, like the back end. Oh, not the hiccups. pardon me.
Yeah.
On the back end of our website, we have a specific application that installs PHP plugins, which, if some of you know all about that, it's a programming language. Blah, blah, blah. Go and look it up.
Oh my God, he's not going to actually go into the whole comment.
No, we only got
a
small amount of time, so I'm just going to briefly put it down.
He's just going to save time.
So, with this PHP package, we just click install. It installs the SQL database. It sets a username and password, which we write down and change it later. And then all we do, or all I do then, is just create 2 side accounts, deactivate the main admin account. There's an account for me and an account for Fez. So we can log in and view. Another thing we're going to be having is a live chat. So any time of day that we're bored or we're online, right, we have a little application that I've personally built, but I've built a an application around it using Batch. So if anyone wants to go and find out what Batch is, just type in ntcmd commands, or go to ss64.com and go /nt, and that's the commands that I'm using.
Anyway,
they mash together to make all types of things. You know, I've built a whole bunch of random junk, backing up scripts, whatever, blah 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 blah. So with all the new plugins coming into the website, we're hoping that we can create one database. So there's going to be one for the shop, there's going to be one for our main website, there's going to be one for chat. There's going to be a couple, and I'm personally...
It's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm personally going to build one database where use register. So you register your username, email address, password, that is fully encrypted. We've got an SSL certificate installed to our server this time, so that's something new I'm so excited about. So it's all encrypted. So your password is safe. We can't see it because it's using some hash encryption thing on the database side. So don't you worry about that. So within that database, it then communicates with all the other databases and just says, hey, this user registered using this username, this email address, this password, kind of thing. And then it passes it all through the databases, and then there's one database that encrypts it all. And then I don't have control over log into it. Like, it turns around and says, okay, encrypt. Even our passwords, if I try and view it, it just comes up random letters and numbers, which is unusable. Like, there's even certain characters in the password that's just unrecognizable to a computer. Like, on a keyboard, you can't type it in. Even if you copy and paste, it'll come up incorrect, which is kind of weird, but it's actually kind of cool because it encrypts it. And I think it's like...
Anyway, so we'll be able... down the line, we'll be able to actually communicate with you guys. That's basically what he's trying to say, and I'm just abbreviating it. Yeah. For those who don't know technological jargon like me.
If you want to see more of it, comment, please, because I'm happy to make a video and explain our back end. I might even do a video behind the scenes.
We both like to make information, and we like to answer your questions.
That's the only thing, we haven't got a big enough audience. So there's, you know, we don't care really. Like, we have enough fun as is. Like, who cares who watches?
But it's nice to have the Game for Australia group
kind of thing. But also, our server's undergoing, I think it is finished now, but it was undergoing a server change. So we've moved to a brand new server, and then we're going to be what's called data caching. So with our server, because, or not server here in our house, not a physical server that we have here at our homes like we already do. It's not going to be hosted there. It's actually hosted by a very known Australian company, which we're not going to name because you can go and search them yourself and just type in Australian web hosting kind of crap. Not going to tell you how much it costs us. Costs us enough. That's all I'm going to say. And we've got a plugin that's that I'm going to install that backs up our website to a zip, and then it uploads it to another web hosting, which caches all that data. So in case our server goes down, that server picks it back up. And then eventually, as soon as it's all cached on every single server around the world that we have access to, because at the moment it's only Australia, so we'll be getting one in the US, you know, one in Europe, you know, just to bounce around. So your closest part, we're going to have a front page on our website. What is the closest country kind of thing? Like there'll be one in the Australian one, there might be US, and there might be Europe. So the 3 servers, you just click on your closest, and it'll take you to the most fastest point. So virtually speaking, you're still connecting to Australia, but the cache data on the servers over in your country makes the website accessible infinitely faster.
Unless you're in Australia.
We access it quite fast. Like at the moment, our direct, because we have VPN access to our server, we have direct VPN access that gets us to the server in just under 10 milliseconds. So where depending on your internet connection, like I can access VPN from my phone to the server and I get it around about 7 milliseconds, but it could be faster. But on our average internet connection at the moment, especially here at Fez's house and at my personal residence, we all get it around about like 20 to about 40 milliseconds, which is fast enough. The old server, we were hitting it in just over like 100 milliseconds. So we wanted to change. It's a lot faster. That's updates done. This podcast is going to be over in 2 minutes.
Anyway, what do you want to... so let's recap what we were talking about.
A recap. So, Monster Lab. Play it. Go
a lot about Monster Lab.
It was like
Monster Lab
of it.
Monster Lab, great game to play. As a great suggestion if you're doing something.
Pardon me. And 3 things. Website will be up and running very soon, so give it about a week. Same with the store, closely following behind, probably about a week and a half to 2 weeks. And the final thing is registration and donations will be available as soon as they're launched, so in about 2.5 weeks.
Oh, and also before we started talking about Monster Lab, my game that brings back old memories is War of the Monsters, and you never said your one, so...
The game that brings back memories from my childhood would definitely have to be... Oh, what's it called? I can't think of it. I got it here. It's the game...
What's it about?
I lost it. No. Why did your mind do this thing? It is. It's a police game. It was on the PS1. It was. You drive a police car, right? And you press triangle on the PS1, and it turns on your siren. You get different unlocks, and then certain cars you get a passenger.
I think I know what you're talking about, but
yeah,
I don't know what it is.
That game is amazing. Like, if I think I still got it at home, but if I still do, I would love to play it again. It is so much fun, and it brings back so many memories of my childhood.
Is there any other games?
Apart from that, it'll probably just have to be Call of Duty and Battlefield. They're very close to my heart. I've been playing them all my life. Especially Call of Duty. I've been playing Call of Duty.
My ones would probably be Grand Theft Autos.
Actually, I played Grand Theft Auto on the PS1. That's the only one I really like. And as well as the one on the PC. They're all on PC, but... Vegas? No.
San Andreas.
San Andreas. That was the other one on... No, Liberty City. It was Liberty City on the PC. I enjoyed the Grand Theft Auto on the PS1. You know, the 2D one. PC, the only Grand Theft Autos that I really enjoyed. The other one is that police game. And Call of Duty Battlefield.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us.
We're going to compile these and upload them to iTunes, so... It'll be up for about an hour.
Anyway, this has been Game for a Show. I have been the Fez.
I've been UnDead.
And we hope to see you or talk to you in the next video or audio file.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, bye-bye.
Later.